Hello and welcome to another video from Marconi Ted. This one is about which scale to use. It's a question I get quite frequently, especially from new users of the Marconi moisture meter, is which scale do I use? So we have here some scales in front of us, which some of them you'll be familiar with. The original Marconi scale here is the scale A3, which is on this meter here in front of me. That is the original Marconi scale. That is pre-harvest 1987. The UK grain trade switched over from the Marconi scale to use the ISO 712 standard for harvest 1987. At the time, it was currently being used by the Intervention Board, and they had their own scales published for the Marconis. And here is actually an intervention scale. If you could read that, it's the intervention calibration scale. So that was in between the Marconi standard and the ISO 712. So at harvest 1987, when they moved over to the ISO 712 for the cereals, as a rough guide, the ISO 712 is about 0.7% higher than the usual Marconi standard. So this is the usual Marconi standard on this meter here, the A3, and that is about 0.7% different. So which scale would I recommend? I would recommend, as a beginner, and until you're comfortable that you're getting the results that you want, is to ignore whatever scale is on your meter, whether it's the original A3 or whether it's the intervention board or whether it's actually a ISO 712 scale, because they did produce them towards the end. This one is actually University Consultant Services. This is Dr. Eggleton, the late Dr. Eggleton's version of the ISO 712. So what I would recommend is using the ISO 712 charts. This is one that is readily available, that's been floating around the internet for some time, and most users have got one or have seen one. And this gives the instrument dial reading, the ISO 712 for wheat, for barley, for oilseed rape, but I can't recommend it for oilseed rape, it's too variable. And then the ISO equivalent for beans and peas, which is the ISTA for beans and peas. So this is the chart. This is the go-to compacted simple version that I would use without causing confusion between the different scales. I've used that chart and just extended it, and I have my own chart here, which is almost a copy of this one, but it has just the extras, so we can get down on the moisture. This is actually a shortened version of the original Marconi ISO 712 charts that they did, which are also available on the Marconi website. So these are the ISO 712 charts, and they give the same information as this one or this one, but they are just a more detailed approach. So that is the scale I would go for. I would just ignore what's on your meter, ignore these slides, and just use an ISO 712 with an ISTA for beans and peas. One of these, I would use one of these and just do the temperature correction manually rather than using the slide. It is a nice feature, and you can use the scales on the meter if you wish, absolutely. And if you can, if you know where you are with the scales, but this is just to stop confusion with new users, really, about which scale shall I use, and I haven't got the right scale on my meter, and do I need this one on my meter, or do I need just use the dial reading, use the chart, and do the temperature correction yourself. Okay, thank you.